good rainy morning. Let's begin this meeting to consider a couple of items of business. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be led by Eric Woodhouse.
Please recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Happy Constitution Day. Today's Constitution Day. And so in schools all over Alpine District and all over the nation, children are studying the Constitution and what it means to have liberty and justice for all. And so we welcome you here today and encourage you to consider that. As I understand it, we do not have any community comments. Is that correct? All right. Then let's go to the action items. Number one, to begin the process to study the closure of Linden Elementary. Do I have a motion to study the process, to begin the process?
And perhaps we could just clarify that as we discussed this last week, the board made a motion to begin the study of the movement changes in the dual language immersion and the gifted and talented program. As we looked at the statute more specifically, the statute calls out for to name specifically those schools that are being considered for potential closure. And so these actions are to designate with specificity the schools that are being considered for possible closure.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Farnsworth.
I move that we initiate the notification required by state statute to consider the closure of Linden Elementary.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved by Ada and seconded by Julie that we initiate the notification required by state statute to consider the closure of Linden Elementary. Is there any discussion on this motion?
So I'm probably going to be voting no on this. I've talked to several people at both schools, Linden Elementary and Rocky Mountain, and the problem is just timing. They currently have additional students that will be seeing in the October 1st numbers, and there's really no way of moving the students from Linden into Rocky Mountain without getting rid of both the DLI and the ALO program, because there's just not room there. So I probably, that's kind of why I'm opposed to this.
Okay, is there other comment?
I understand where Mark is coming from. I'm just kind of looking at this as just a study, and I'm okay with initiating a study and looking at other possibilities and what our district leadership could come up with or may come up with. I'm hesitant to I guess when the time comes when we have the opportunity to vote on whether we are going to be supportive, if that came up, depending on what the findings were, to move quickly on anything before a split. I'm just going to be honest and upfront with that, but I don't mind initiating a study. I feel like that's just looking at a different side and listening to a different point of view.
Okay, just to clarify, this begins a process, and it's a process that will take several months, and there is a legal procedure with hearings and different things. The actual vote on the closures of these two schools will not occur until December. So we're just looking at a study at this point, correct?
And to me, we do owe this community a study, because this is one of our older buildings which has historically had problems, and I think they deserve better. And so I think we should look at every possible solution, meaning the ideal solutions, and work towards the ideal solution for this community.
Before we take a vote, Stacy Bateman is not here today. She's excused, but I'm not sure. Is she online? She is. Okay, then we will need to listen for her vote. So Stacy, say really loud when the time comes. Is there any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of initiating this study, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
And what was Stacy's vote?
I'm here, Sarah.
It was an aye? Okay, thank you. All right, Dr. Farnsworth.
The next item is similar to the first. We need to spell out specifically the that we are moving to begin the notification required by state statute for the closure of Windsor Elementary.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move that we initiate the notification required by state statute to consider the closure of Windsor Elementary.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved by Julie and seconded by Ada. Is there discussion on this motion?
I just wanted to say that I appreciate this process to go and get feedback from the community and look at it and explore options, and that nobody should take these motions that their schools are closing or not closing. It's the opportunity to go and look and explore and to really involve the community in that process.
Okay, thank you. Other comments?
I just wanted to acknowledge that the site of Windsor Elementary is a great site for a school, and I hope that as a board and as district staff, we look at that potential possibility as a future site for a school.
Okay, thank you. Windsor's a little bit of a tricky one because the original wing of Windsor was built in 56, is that right? 1956? But there are several additions to it that are newer. And so it's a kind of a difficult situation, but it is on the Reevely list as needing seismic upgrades. It's got unreinforced masonry. So the Windsor site is a fabulous site for a school. It's got plenty of acreage, it's got really good access, good roads, and so on. So this one is a little bit tricky, but perhaps we should start this study at any rate and just see what we can come up with for Windsor. That being the case, all in favor of initiating a study to initiating the notification required by state statute, consider the study of the closure, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. Stacy? I'm not hearing. Okay, Dr. Farnsworth?
Yes, then the last item is a change in a board meeting schedule. I think we heard an aye, so. Change in the board meeting schedule in December. We have one board meeting in December. We are recommending to the board that they change that date from the 10th to the 17th. That would allow for the 90-day period of study as required by state statute to allow the board to take action at that time once the 90 days have passed for the study of the possible closure of these two schools. So we would recommend that change from the 10th to the 17th.
All right, do I hear a motion?
I move that, oh, sorry, Mark. Go ahead. I move that we move December's board meeting from December 10th to December 17th.
Second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Sarah, seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion on the changing of this date? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Okay, then we will make that adjustment. Thank you.
Thank you, board members, for having an extra board meeting and making your time available. We apologize for the misunderstanding of the statute. It is new, and we're trying to understand that, but we appreciate you accommodating this additional board meeting in the month of September. So thank you very much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you. Without any other business on the agenda, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been moved by Ada, seconded by Mark, that we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Okay, this meeting stands adjourned.
By the way, you can also say, seeing that we have reached the agenda, we stand adjourned.